The clatter of the spoon against a ceramic bowl was the only sound in the kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator a distant drone. I watched Natalie, her eyes half closed, pushing granola around in her yogurt. She'd always been a morning person, bright, bubbly, ready to face the day. Lately, though, her mornings were different, muted, dull, a dim version of the woman I once knew. We were ships passing in the night, sharing space, but not a connection. This morning was going to be different. I swallowed the lump in my throat and pressed play on my phone. The tiny speaker on the counter crackled to life. The recording was short, only a few seconds, but it was enough. The sound of Natalie's breath, heavy, rhythmic, then a whisper. Liam. Not my name, not love, not even the casual mumble of affection. Just Liam, her co-worker, the one with the fake smile and eyes that lingered a little too long on my wife. Her spoon froze mid-motion. Her eyes widened and locked on the phone, the color draining from her face like a ghost dragged back from the dead. A tremor started in her hands. She clasped them together quickly, trying to hide it. The silence that followed was suffocating. The only sound was the refrigerator's low hum. Then her voice, quiet, weak, almost unrecognizable. What was that? I leaned back in my chair, arms crossed, posture casual, at least on the surface. Oh, that? I said softly. That's you, last night, whispering in your sleep. Or dreaming aloud, I guess. Her mouth opened and closed, no sound coming out. She looked like a trapped animal. Desperate, her eyes darted around, searching for an escape. Ew! / you recorded me? She finally asked, voice barely above a whisper, laced with the beginnings of indignation. I nodded, a small, tight smile on my lips. I've been recording my sleep for a few weeks. Apparently, sleep talking could be revealing. I lied. The truth was, I'd only started 2 nights ago, right after discovering a string of messages on her work computer. Deleted messages. One she thought I'd never see. She stammered, I don't know what you're talking about, her hand rising to her throat in that familiar gesture I used to find endearing. Now it just made me feel sick. Don't play dumb, Natalie. We both know what that was. And we both know who Liam is. She flinched at his name. That reaction alone told me everything. It's just a name, she whispered. Is it? I replied, voice sharper now. A name you say with that tone? That tenderness? Something I haven't heard from you in months? I stood, the chair scraping sharply against the linoleum floor. I walked to the counter, leaned on it, arms folded as I looked her dead in the eye. You know, I had a picture in my head, our life, our future. Turns out you were busy building something else entirely. She began to cry. Tears flowed freely down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I'm so sorry. But the words rang hollow, reflexive, like she'd rehearsed them, like she wasn't sorry she did it, just sorry she got caught. Save it, I said. Cold, final. I could see the shift in her eyes. The realization, this wasn't going to be a fight. This wasn't something she could manipulate or cry her way out of. I was done. I packed a bag while she followed me, pleading, grabbing at my arm, trying to stop me. I ignored her. Her voice was just static now. I walked out, the door slamming behind me like a gavel. For a week, I lived in a fog, crashed on a friend's couch. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard her whisper that name. Liam. But through the grief, something sharper began to form. Cold, focused. I wasn't just going to walk away. I used my access, her husband, her tech-savvy idiot she assumed didn't notice anything. I pulled emails, chats, all the evidence I could find. I printed everything. It became a stack, thick, damning, undeniable. Then I turned to Liam. His social media was a brag reel. Flashy car, overpriced apartment, smug captions. I found his address easily. It was a Tuesday when I decided to act. I parked a few blocks from his building and waited. Natalie's car pulled into the lot. I recognized the silhouette immediately. I watched as she walked to the entrance. Liam stepped out to meet her. That same smug smile. Once they were inside, I walked to the apartment and knocked. He opened the door. His expression shifted from surprise to recognition to panic in seconds. What the... I didn't let him finish. My fist met his jaw with a sharp crack. He stumbled back, clutching his face. I grabbed him by the shirt and threw him onto the couch. You think you can just walk into someone else's life and take what isn't yours? I shouted, rage tearing through my voice. Natalie was frozen in the doorway, pale, shaking. I didn't care. I dragged Liam up again, slammed him against the wall. He tried to fight back, but he was soft, weak, just a predator who'd finally picked the wrong target. I let it all out, every betrayal. Every night, I'd stared at the ceiling wondering what went wrong. Every morning, she'd kiss me like nothing was happening behind my back. When it was done, he was curled on the floor, bloodied and moaning. I turned to Natalie. Her tears had smeared her makeup. Her hands trembled at her sides. I threw the stack of papers at her feet. "These are for you," I said, voice like ice. "I've got copies for your boss, your parents, maybe even the office group chat. Let's see how you like living without your little secret." She dropped to her knees, fumbled with the papers, tears dripping onto the printouts like punctuation. Liam stayed crumpled on the floor, groaning. I walked out, left them in the wreckage they created. The only sound behind me were sobs and pain. That night, I booked a motel. The next morning, I drove away from everything I'd known. I didn't have a plan, didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay where everything reminded me of her. I didn't look back. They had broken me. So I broke them, cold, calculated, and exactly what they deserved.